Hey, welcome to It Drinks Water Figures.
I do.
Here in the Pop Culture Network. As always, unfortunately, I'm back again.
Me too.
Another week. I know it sucks.
Welcome to the Killing and DiRT Pop Culture
Channel.
World.
Scotty claims he will be back next week, but if he's not, what are you going to do?
And maybe we'll have the return of intern Rick. That's not confirmed, but it may happen.
And maybe another surprise or two.
Or,
you never know.
Or maybe we just won't record. I don't know.
Or maybe we'll
see.
just give up on the show because nobody watches anyway.
Except for you, John Prof. Thank you.
Alright, guys. So, let's talk some toy news from this week. Let's see what Killen thinks about these headlines.
Hate them.
Fair enough. Alright, next segment of the show. Fan Corner. Oh no, let's go through them. Alright, first up, Mattel announced their 2012 San Diego Comic-Con voucher pre-sale. This will allow you to order your products in advance, actually starting this morning, May 30th, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. You can go in and pay for your order now, and then print out a voucher that you can take to San Diego Comic-Con to pick it up in person. No refunds. If you cannot personally pick it up yourself, you should not order it. Don't order it and then say, oh, I'm going to send my buddy Tom to go pick it up or whatever, because the person who orders it is the one who has to pick it up. They are going to need to see confirmation of your identity.
And I could say for sure that is a true statement, because I've been there picking up my stuff in San Diego and somebody else trying to get somebody else's stuff, and they're like, no.
Nope.
So.
And no refunds.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have to have a badge to actually enter San Diego Comic-Con. So if you can't get into the show, don't pre-order this stuff.
Well, maybe, because the last 2 years they held it, the actual pickup was in the hotel that's attached to the convention, but wasn't actually in the convention.
Yeah, but they don't know that where their spot's going to be until closer to showtime. So they can't guarantee that right now.
So for the last 2 years they've been in the same spot. So if they held true, then you won't need a badge. However, if that changes and they move into the showroom, which I don't think will happen. Honestly, I think that doesn't make any sense, because they already have a sell booth in the convention, and they want this pickup to be somewhere else, and it would have to be just because of the amount of product. It's probably going to be in the hotel next door, which I think is, I don't even know, Hilton maybe, but that's probably where it's going to be again to pick up, or in another nearby hotel. Almost has to be. So I don't know if you're necessarily going to need a badge for that, but why are you at San Diego Comic-Con if you're not going in? That's all I'm saying.
One other piece of news here, that Monster High, they did announce earlier on that they would have something, but they didn't know what it was. Well, now we know it's the Monster High Sarah Screams doll. So, apparently this was voted on at Facebook, MonsterHigh.com, and at Mattel's booth at San Diego Comic-Con last year. The people could vote between the Headless Headmistress Bloodgood, Sarah Screams, and Daughter of Arachne. And Sarah Screams won. So, there you go. That's who you're getting if you're into that stuff.
Talking to you, Swing.
One other piece of news is that Mattel kind of snuck in there at the last moment one other figure. $30 Movie Masters Bruce Wayne to Batman figure. This was unannounced, just kind of popped up in the listings one day, and it was like, oh, hey, look at that. This includes the Bruce Wayne head on just kind of like the black suit body. If you remember with the Movie Masters for Dark Knight, they had one that was kind of like the prototype suit deal thing, whatever. It's kind of that basic body. And then it's got snap-on Batman armor. It comes in a folding case that looks like the Wayne Manor Library and part of the Batcave, you know, as if he went through that secret passageway as Bruce Wayne to become Batman. So, those of you looking for that neat little extra Movie Master San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, there you go.
I gotta tell you, I'm not buying any of this stuff.
Nothing?
I'm gonna wait until it goes on sale on Maddie's website again at a clearance price, because, you know, I mean, some of this stuff's gonna sell instantly. You're not gonna be able to get. That's a fact. But a lot of it will be for sale, and of course they're also going to sell some of it on the website anyway, so I'm going to take my chances, because the last couple of years that's been the case.
You know, the Tiny Titans set is probably the only thing I'm even interested in, and if that sells out before I can get one, oh well, I'm not really even that bothered.
And I'm sure, you know, eBay prices are not going to be too much higher because they're normally not. And, you know, it's honestly worth spending the extra money on eBay because I got to tell you, the cost of going to San Diego Comic-Con is incredible. So unless you already live in San Diego, you might just use eBay. Save yourself a little trouble.
All right. Next up, appearing on Toys R Us shelves now is a Dark Knight Rises 6-inch Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack. Not found anywhere else. This 2-pack features Batman with a cloth cape and a shirtless Bane. So this is going for a certain demographic out there. Hoping for no shirts and some cloth clothes. This comes in a collector's window.
What demographic is that?
Taxi cab drivers, duh. What else? It comes in a collector's window box with the two of them going at it, so you don't even have to open up the box in order to appreciate the
and what does
inside.
Going at it mean?
Dancing?
Okay.
Duh. That's what taxi cab drivers are into. Don't you remember going around Chicago?
I know.
All right, so those of you looking forward for some just more, you want to spend more money
if you're that
on
demographic.
that stuff. So there you go. G.I. Joe. We got some pictures of the carded Jinx figure for the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive figure from Hasbro.
Good old 25th anniversary style. Good. Yes.
30th anniversary. It's been 5 years now.
The style is the 25th. Obviously, it's the 30th anniversary, but the style is of the 25th.
There is both the red and white version, so depending on which version of Jinx that you prefer, you can pick up either one of those. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, they do follow that same template, but that's a good template of those
because this new
figures.
movie card, crap, look horrific. I'm actually embarrassed for Hasbro for carding them into such a horrific card. But you know what? They did that with the last movie too. Those cards were disgusting. And since we're talking about the movie G.I. Joes.
Next up, Hasbro. They announced that the G.I. Joe Retaliation movie is moving back about 9 months. Instead of coming out June 29th, it's going to be coming out March 29th, 2013. They're doing this to add a 3D version of the film. Because, you know, after you film and wrap a movie and you convert it to 3D, that's traditionally the best way of making a 3D movie. As we all know. We all know.
Which means it's going to hurt your eyes when you look at it. And it's going to be terrible.
Give you a headache. But hey, a bunch of the toys were already shipped out. And, of course, they said on the box, do not open until what? I think it said May 28th or something. You weren't supposed to open it until then.
Yeah, well, I opened mine.
Yeah, it didn't matter. And so a lot of people were wondering, does that mean the toys are going to have to be recalled? Or are they just going to sit in a warehouse for 9 months? Like, how exactly is this going to work? Hasbro sent out an official response saying, G.I. Joe is an ongoing consumer franchise, and therefore there is merchandise available to consumers. There's a limited amount of G.I. Joe Retaliation product at retail now, but in light of the movie coming out March 29, 2013, the majority of the movie line will be made available early next year in time for the film's release. So basically, they don't want to bother trying to recall it back, so whatever's out is out. Buy it. It's going to dry up after a while. You're going to get more of the regular, like, Retaliation figures and whatnot. And then when it comes back around to the new year and they're getting ready to release the movie, then they'll go ahead and flood the rest of it into the market.
So we actually have some of this product available on shoppcn.com. We still have some of the box sets. They're 3-packs. And we do have a few of the carded figures left. We got about 8 of them. Not that many left. So if you go there at shoppcn.com and you do a search for the G.I. Joe Retaliation, you'll find a couple figures left.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in buying them, you want to get them almost a year in advance, now's the time to buy them because they're going to be dried up and gone. And as you know, distribution at major places like Walmart and stuff like that is always terrible. Target's usually a little better, but still, there you go. They got what they got, and they're not getting more.
This Showdown set with Snake Eye, Storm Shadow, and this Red Ninja actually looks pretty good. Yeah. Like, I kind of like these figures. The other pack that has Roadblock and Firefly, and I don't know who the other guy is, that pack doesn't really do anything for me, but this one actually looks pretty nice.
Yeah, the box sets are always good. Those are the only ones I really care about. I have all the 25th and the newer stuff they were doing and the cartoon stuff, but this new movie line is just as terrible as the previous one as far as looks of the figures. Obviously, the figures are the figures. They're always going to be good. but the dumb accessories they put them with.
Oh, they put them with those gigantic
Yeah.
missile launching guns where the guy would have to be literally holding something like this big.
I despise
the rocket.
those Joes. Just saying.
Despise.
Just saying. I hate the packaging. Hate it.
Next up, Interbay has released photos of their new 1/6 scale Men in Black 3 figures. Men in Black 3 actually dethroned Avengers over the holiday weekend at the theater. So,
wow.
Yeah. We're getting Agent J and Agent K. These both come with movie-accurate costumes, newly developed bodies, 40 points of articulation, PVC soft plastic skin around the chest area, so you can articulate the chest without having all those seams and everything in it. It kind of, you know, moves like real skin. You know, my little dance there.
Does that mean real skin when you do that?
And they use what they call a new multi-layer paint application to allow better expressions on the face.
So they painted it more than once.
So I mean, if you look at that for a 1/6 scale figure, that actually looks okay.
I don't know.
Looks like a little.
That looks a little weird.
But the best one out of the bunch is actually the dog.
Yeah, it looks perfect. The likeness on Jay's face looks like it's some guy from Saturday Night Live trying to play him. Like it's close, but not really perfect.
With K, it almost looks like when they do him in the movie, in the video game based off the movie, where it looks like him, but there's just something off. You know,
he looks like he belongs in Walking Dead. Like he's totally in the wrong series, but right face.
But you know, overall, they are slick-looking figures. So
yeah.
There you go. Finally, this last piece of news submitted by Sweenholic. Derpy, the My Little Pony figure, is the possible San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. A version of the figure leaked onto the Taobao, the Chinese eBay that we've discussed before. And at first, Hasbro said, no, that's a bootleg, that's a fake, that's not coming. But then new pictures surfaced showing the San Diego Comic-Con 2012 sticker on it. So the question is now, are the bootleggers scamming people with fake San Diego Comic-Con exclusive stickers, or in fact, is this the is it leaking out of the...
That looks pretty official to me. I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. I mean, that sticker is... I mean, obviously they can reproduce the stickers, but that's pretty good.
So...
And really, are they really going to get to me, people? I think Mattel's trying to cover up the tracks. Mattel, if you really don't want your product leaked, how about you send an employee over there to, like, watch your product?
Or start making it somewhere else. Obviously, whatever that factory is, that warehouse, whatever, it's not working.
Yeah.
You should probably...
they might want to hire some security guards.
Or go to a different country, because this just isn't working out for you. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for the news section here on the show. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Oh.
And then when we come back, it'll be bath time with Mr. Snuggles.
Oh. Hey guys, it's Killen. I'm here to discuss a new show coming every Monday on the Pop Culture Network. It is the Video Game Loser Show. Every week we'll discuss the news relating to video games. We're going to talk about some releases and have a short discussion on whatever random topic we think is relevant that week. It's going to star myself and, of course, I'm not, Dirk. So be sure to check us out on VGLosers.com, part of the Pop Culture Network.
Yay! Hey, everybody. Apparently now we're back.
Yeah, what up?
Now that Mr.
I'm ready.
Fumblefingers is done typing on his phone. First up, this first piece of Fan Corner is actually not for you, not for me, not for Scotty, not for Dan. This is actually for John Proft. Message for you from some of the other viewers out there. They love your 8-bit toys. They would love to see some turtle figures from the first game. So that's something you need to add to your repertoire of characters?
I was thinking bigger stuff. I like the small things you're doing, but I want some. What I want is like some 2 foot by 3 foot size. I mean, huge icons like a Mario and maybe a Sonic and maybe some other stuff like that. Like a mount onto the wall of my store. That'd be awesome. Big.
Actually, one thing I was thinking of is when he made the ice hockey figures. He put 3 of them on the peg, and it made me think about if he could do a diorama scene. Because you could do the depth. You could do like Super Mario Brothers and have the blue background and some mountains and have a little Mario and put some of the clear ones underneath it so he's jumping and have a little Goomba there on the ground, and you could make a multi-layered display with the different characters on there. I think that might look really cool too. Lots of things you could do.
I just want big old things to put in my store.
You just like them big, don't you?
Honestly, if I had the patience and I was doing this, I probably would take a wall and make a mural of just perler beads and just like different things that completely covered a wall.
That's an idea, is to make interlocking pieces.
And just
where you'd have like an A, B, C, D, and then you could make, 5 different things that could be an A and 5 different things that could be a B, and people could mix and match whatever ones they want and lock them together. So you could have video games and toys and movies and comic books. And
I'm just saying, use it like wallpaper. Just completely cover a wall and glue the whole thing to the wall.
Yeah, you don't have the patience for anything like that.
No, but that'd be awesome.
Yes, that would be awesome.
I had the dollars.
No way you'd ever do it.
I had the dollars to pay somebody to do it.
Wait, what? Almost sounds like someone needs to send someone an email to Killen. All right, Clone Yoshi says, how well do you think the new Dark Knight Rises figures will do, seeing the failure of the latest DC lines and the success of the Dark Knight line? I don't know how it will be. Also, if Dan is there, can you say, put that cookie down in your Arnold voice? Oh, you're going to have to wait. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
No Arnold voice this week.
Who knows when Dan's will be around.
But anyway, Dark Knight Rises, $21.99 a piece at Toys R Us, I don't think those figures are going to do very well.
Plus, they're movie figures anyways, and those don't really typically do that well. They do at initial launch, and then they kind of dwindle fast.
Like when the first ones came out, everyone's like, ooh, I need a Batman, and then the rest of them just kind of like, meh, and then, oh, I need a Joker and a Batman, and then all the rest of them, like, who really wanted Commissioner Gordon? Who really wanted Thug in Clown Mask 3? It's like, they have those key characters, and you want, like, the key headliners, but then after that, it's just...
And honestly, when you put it next to your other 400 Batmans, is there really that much of a difference to justify spending the money?
Although, I did like the 4-inch versions. Those were a little harder to come by. You had to buy, like, the playset, or... I don't even know if they even sold those separately. I think you had to buy them in special packs. Those were more difficult to find, but I like those better than the 6-inch figures. But then, I generally prefer them smaller.
Wow. Really? Dropping the bomb like that?
Yeah, I know. Kind of weird, huh?
That's how you like it?
All right, Keldor. He says, great show, guys. You rock. Keep it up. Wait, I don't see the question. Is he asking if we can keep it up?
Yes.
Is that what he's asking?
We're trying.
He wants to know if we can keep it up?
We're holding it together.
Listen, buddy, you don't even want to know what goes on behind the scenes here.
Staff problems, for sure.
Justice Fan 123 says, hey guys, thank you as always for taking time out to answer our questions. First off, Killen, you're absolutely right in your response to my question from last week. 24 figures would be awesome. My question this week is, what's the one figure or entire figure line that has been released that you don't own and you really want to collect? My answer would have to be the 1980s Kenner Superpowers collection. Which, hey, I own a bunch of those, and they are awesome. We covered them on That New Toy Smell. Let's see.
I got a couple. I mean, because I really did want the 25th anniversary Turtles. I didn't get them. Totally snoozed on that, and then it disappeared out of the...
you mean the re-releases of the classic ones?
Yeah. Or
the ones from NECA that look like the old stuff?
No, not NECA. The ones that
the Playmates
released that looked like the old ones. I kind of upset I didn't jump on that. There's a lot of like Mega Blocks lines I could have gotten. I didn't.
Because they weren't Lego.
Yeah, and it's just they weren't that cool. I mean, really, right now, the stuff they're doing right now is pretty good. The weird thing about the Power Ranger stuff they're doing right now is awesome. I really like the little blind bag figures they're selling that are just a figure. Very good, and they actually are decent considering what they are. But yeah, the Turtles line is probably my number one right now. I wish I would have gotten. I don't know. I'm hurting for ideas. I know there's a couple other things out there I'd like. There's a couple Lego lines I'm missing that I would love to get. A lot of the early 2000 Castle stuff, the Kingdom stuff that came out early on, and the Viking stuff. Oh my God, I missed those entirely, and I'm pretty upset at myself for not having those.
I think for me, when I was a kid, I apparently had a couple Black Star figures from that old toy line.
Apparently.
And, well, here's the thing. I had those toys for years. I had a couple of the villains. I had no idea what they were or where they came from. They were just kind of cool toys that were part of my toy collection. They got lost in the Great Purge that I talked about in That New Toy Smell 100, if you remember that story. And I totally out of my mind, whatever, until a couple weeks ago, someone traded a couple in here. And I saw them, and I was like, oh, I remember those. I had those. I loved those. And so now I'm like debating. You've got them at $20 a piece over there. So I'm like, I kind of want them, but I kind of don't want to pay $20 a piece for them.
It's Black Star, man.
But the Black Star line, like, I would love to get back into that, but I just don't know if I'd be able to swing the price on some of those because they are pretty pricey. But
and see, that's the other thing. I would love to. That kind of just made me remember another thing I want is I want the Monster in My Pockets toys. The original ones, although they got some cool stuff coming out now that released in the UK only, not here in the United States yet. That stuff's kind of cool. I kind of wish I had some of that. But there is like a retail display pyramid that has all the different Monster in My Pockets that they constantly have on eBay all the time. I just always forget about bidding on it, and the few times I have bid on it, I've lost. So I'd like to get those, or just even some of the figures themselves, because I like the little mini figures like that. Monster in My Pocket, or some of the Battle Beast with the rub stickers. I'd like to have some of those again. I don't own any. It's sad.
Yeah. So, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Next up from Sick, he says, "Hey guys, who showed up? Any update on the PCN Spy Monkey Creations exclusive?" Update?
No, there's no update, and I'll tell you the status of it. Let's see. About a year ago, they actually had a finished prototype, and I actually have it. And it is completely done. We had a couple paint changes and maybe a gem alignment change, and it was done, ready to go, in production. They just got stuck on a bigger project, and they started going in a different direction on what they're creating. So I never got the word that pay the money for the deposit to get the things produced and sell them. That they were just days away from doing that, and Pixel Dan was pretty much the contact, and he never got back to me, and they never got in contact. And then of course he went off to do his own thing, and now that's getting further and further away. But I do have the prototype, and I do have an idea what it looks like, and if I give me a minute, I'll go over here and see if I can find it.
One thing about that is that they, at the time that it looked like everything was kind of falling into place, they were suddenly getting ready to shift their manufacturing process because the way they had been doing it worked really well, but it was really expensive. And they were getting ready to try out this new system that was going to be a whole lot cheaper. But there were going to be some other factors in the way things were done and how it got handled and who it went through and how long it took and et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, I must have it at my house or somebody stole it. All I have is my Skeletor here.
Toothless?
Yeah. This is the Skeletor that I can't remember who sold. Somebody on the forum sold it to me, and it was a long time ago. But no, it basically is a golden piece of armor that sits kind of like how this piece does here, right on the body, which was in a gold color for the disco armor, and it had an orange gem right in the center right here.
So really, you put it on Fakor, and you've got a Disco He-Man.
Yeah,
right
so it was essentially just...
Or you can put it on Skeletor and have a Pimp Skeletor.
It was just a full body armor piece that goes right about where his ab crunch is.
I think the only difference was that it didn't have the straps on the bottom. You
it
popped off the head and
piece,
slid it on top, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was like riveted on the sides like it was armor. And that was the Disco armor piece. Yeah. Now, of course... That's all it was, just a top armor piece, and it would have been better if we could have expanded it further. And the idea was we were going to do the one piece and do another production run on another, maybe a bottom piece, and be able to complete a full-on armor set. But more than likely, that deal's probably gone by now because it's so far. Like, who's really? I mean, are they even still doing that anymore? I don't know if anybody's still even buying that stuff. So while I would love to have done that, it just didn't work out.
Maybe it'll come back. Like I was saying, they were going through this process of a different way of manufacturing, but there were also questions of the new manufacturing process, if that changed, the minimum pieces that you had to do in order to make it profitable, and all that kind of stuff that they had to work out.
Intern Rick, he went to go work at a studio producing toys and statues and stuff like that. And he learned a couple things, and he's on his way back, and he had showed me a prototype for a figure he would like to produce and sell here on Pop Culture Network that fits into the He-Man world and is part of the Filmation style stuff, and it is actually a figure, not a main character, but a returning figure that character or trooper, I should say, that you see mostly throughout the series. So if we can get that worked out and we don't have any legal issues and stuff like that, we may be able to produce that and sell that. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Next up, Nasty Will. Hey guys, I saw some of the new Dark Knight and Batman figures in the store. They are not something I would really want for the price they are asking for. Would love to see Prometheus figures. Yeah, I think the Dark Knight figures, $21.99. I mean, even the cheapest I've seen them online is $17.99, and to me, that's just way too much. Like, I understand prices are going up, things are more expensive than they used to be, but for me, that's more than I want to pay for just regular figures, Totally. Especially because I've got other Batman figures that I'm perfectly happy with. If they were cheap enough, I'd buy them just because, hey, they're cheap, I'll grab this, Dark Knight Rises figure, whatever. But at the price that those things go for, there's no way.
I mean, do they even fit in with the other movie releases?
Yeah, well, they fit in with the other movie Masters lines, like the Green Lantern and the Dark Knight.
Who do you need? The Croc?
Well, Bane is new in this movie.
Yeah, whatever. You don't need another Batman.
There's Commissioner Gordon with a little bit of gray in his mustache and gray over the ears, and that makes him a little different.
So there's maybe one or two characters that you'll buy.
Catwoman.
Or just wait until they go on clearance because they're not going to last long at retail. I guarantee.
Now, as far as Prometheus goes, that'll be interesting. The way that whole thing works out. Have you heard of Prometheus?
Yeah, I've seen the previews.
I mean, do you understand what Prometheus is?
I had no idea what the deal was, and I saw the preview several times in the last couple of movies I've seen, and it looks like an awesome...
It's a prequel to Aliens.
Oh, is it?
But it's not about the aliens per se. It's, if you remember the first movie, there was that spacecraft that was crashed that they found, and inside the people had been infected by these aliens. And so it's like these are the people who crashed there, and apparently the aliens are somewhere else on this planet, and whatever the people in Prometheus do causes the aliens and the people in the ship to have their whole interaction, which 80 years later leads to what we saw in the first Aliens movie. So it's...
I totally forget. I haven't watched Aliens in forever, so it's...
Well, because I didn't really catch it until the first time I saw the long trailer, and they show the spaceship, which is kind of like this half-circle thing flying through the air, and then it breaks up and crashes and whatever. And as soon as I saw that ship, I'm like, well, that looks like the ship from the original Alien movie when they went down.
Well, I totally got the Alien vibe while watching the trailer.
Well, because, it's Ridley Scott.
I got, it looked like something was coming out of our chest. I was like, oh, that's Aliens, man. They're just knocking off Aliens. But apparently... It's a prequel. Well, that makes that movie a little more...
They call it an expanded universe, but you're not going to see the alien creatures from the Alien movies running around jumping all over the place.
Well, I kind of... that kind of makes the whole story a little weirder. But I saw the preview. I was like, oh, that looks like a good movie, but I really don't care about the content of it, the story. But knowing that makes it a little bit more enjoyable. So maybe now I'll actually want to see it.
Next up, Cavalier Chris says, all right, boys, and Stina, if she's there, who can tell as I type this. This is for everyone there.
No.
Your home or the store is on fire. Everyone you love is safe. You can only grab one toy to save from a fiery, hellish doom. What do you grab and save?
My computer.
Your computer's your toy?
That's the toy I play with every single day. That'd
Okay,
be the one thing. Toy-wise, oh, man. That is a terribly hard question because, as you know, I collect mostly Legos, so I don't really have a single Lego.
But do you have anything that, like, you've graded that you want to
say?
Yeah,
I do, but I don't have any, like, I don't have a holy grail piece. I have a ton of awesome stuff. I just don't have anything that's, like, of incredible value that I couldn't replace. The only thing I could think of that I have that I probably could never buy again was we got that Grey Ghost figure from the Batman series that was
signed by Bruce Timm.
Yeah, that's
that thing's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that thing's pretty rare, and I don't think I could ever replace that because it was specially made for, you know, people like us that are in the business, the biz. So you couldn't buy that at retail, and I doubt you'll see any on eBay because it's just a internal toy.
Well, now I'm going to check. If I can learn how to type.
I wish I could tell you what the value would be, but I would say it's got to be several hundreds of dollars. And I got insurance on my house, so if my house burned down.
Oh, no, there it is. 3 bids, $23.51 with 1 day, 23 hours left.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, because they also sold them loose, but this was our variant. So, there's only one on all of eBay.
So, in 2 days, we'll see what the value goes to. I guarantee it's several hundreds of dollars. There's no way it could be...
There are no more than 3,100 worldwide. So, there you go. All right.
What about you?
Voltron. My original Panache plays Voltron.
But aside from that figure, if I didn't have to pick, I would probably take one of my Lego pirate ships.
Ooh, or would I grab my Tron figures? Because my original Tron figures. They're right there. I could grab one each. Like I grab the handful of Tron and grab the Voltron like this, and they're both because they're close by.
My most favorite Lego set that I have right now is the Imperial flagship that was a Lego store exclusive. That's like almost a $200 boat. I'd probably get that just because it took me forever to work up the courage to buy it.
Although you never got your Death Star, did you?
No, I never got the Lego Death Star, but I kind of decided I do not like Lego Star Wars. So after buying several bunches of them and realizing that I'm buying the same stuff over and over and over, that I despised the Lego Star Wars. I like the figures. I want the figures. I don't like the sets anymore. I'm totally into Lego Castles theme and Pirates, and that's about it. And I do like the DC and Marvel stuff that's out now, and of course the Lords of the Rings stuff fits in with the castles, so that, and Harry Potter stuff fits in the castle theme. I count those all in the subcategory. The Monster Hunter stuff that's out right now is kind of cool, and I probably would like to buy them, but I don't know if I want to spend my money on them. If somebody gives them to me, I'll take them gladly, but I'm having a hard time deciding on buying that stuff right now. Because you go on Lego.com right now, and you can get the Lords of the Ring figures right now, and you can get the Monster Hunter stuff right now. And those are not really in a lot of the stores right now, I don't think. So if you were interested in getting them, get them on the .com while you can. And otherwise, I'm sure in the coming month or so, they'll be out in most major retail.
All right. Let's see. Last question. This is from SunAdam9. 3 questions. First, I'd like to ask DiRT if you've bought any of the Marvel Universe Series 4 figures, and if so, which ones, and what do you think of them? I have not. Since I dropped the Marvel Universe line cold turkey, I have not gone and bought a single Marvel Universe figure. I have looked I have looked and looked and looked and looked. I've gone into stores and stared at them intently.
You should have never sold us.
My feeling is that if I ever find them cheap, like loose at a con, whatever, for $1 or $2 a piece, I might buy them.
It's never going to happen.
Exactly. That's what I've put in my mind as the bar that has to be leveled in order for me to get back into it.
Or somebody has to give you a good chunk of the
because
collection.
I was this close to being poor, desolate on the street, but having stacks of Marvel Universe 3 3/4 inch figures. So I had to drop that line like the bad habit it was.
And I bought them.
And
you know what?
And they've almost all sold, haven't they?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 left.
They're gone. That was, and I gotta tell you, buying them, I was looking at you going, we're gonna regret this for the rest of your life because you'll never get this many. Because you had a ridiculous amount.
I did have, but that was the problem, is they kept making a ridiculous amount, and I kept having to buy them all, you know?
But you
I really
never get them back.
Well, and I don't miss them as much because I'm not as big a fan of Marvel as DC. Like, I'll never get rid of my Infinite Heroes, you know? And I have
Get rid of those.
just about every single Infinite Heroes. There may be like 1 or 2 variants that's still out there. Because every once in a while, Swing Holic will be like, hey, I'm at Marshall's, and there's this variant I've never seen before. And I'm like, I had no idea that existed. But, you know, other than that, I think I may have them all. So anyway.
Terrible mistake, bro.
I've never gone back on that. And like I said, I've got this very high standard of what it'll take to get me back into them that I don't think I'll ever meet. Next up. Next question, where can I get some of the older Marvel Universe figures for a good price and some figure stands?
It doesn't exist.
For a good price? Eesh, that's really the tough call right there. I mean, you're going to have to check flea markets and, you know, toy shows at your local, you know, state fairgrounds, county fairgrounds.
Don't try eBay.
Those type of, yeah, not online.
The only way you're going to get them at a good price is if you buy a lot. I mean, a bulk lot. Somebody's selling a group of them.
Like 50 of them.
Yeah, and then if you break out what you'll spend, and it's going to be a high number, what you spend on the lot, and you divide it against how many figures, that's probably the best cost to figure ratio you're going to get as opposed to buying them individually. But it's still going to be pretty high because I tell you what, we bought, I don't know how many you had, like over 100. And
a lot.
We sold every single one of them like super fast, and they were fairly expensive, so shouldn't have done it, bro.
Now, as far as figure stands, I found that the things like the Infinite Heroes figure stands didn't really work on them. The ones that seemed to work the best were G.I. Joe. Ones made for the 25th anniversary line of G.I. Joe figures, probably because they're sculpted by the same people. Those tend to work pretty well, and especially if you can find figure stands with the 2 peg holes. The 1 peg hole ones sometimes work okay, but it's never an exact science, it seemed like, on those figure holes, because they made so many of them without figure stands. They just put holes in them, just, you know, because that's what you do with figures. And at some point down the line, they do that, and they ended up adding some eventually at some point.
Yeah, figure stands is tricky business.
But my bet would say go out there and just, you know, get like 3 or 4 different types of G.I. Joe stands, and because it's so, you know, inexact, you're going to find some are going to work with some figures and some are going to work with other figures, and just keep, you know, mix and matching and playing them around, and you'll.
I think Entertainment Earth sells their own branded stands.
Yeah, they do have some there. There's also a place, like, I think it's called wholesalecases.com, that sell figure cases. They also have figure stands. That's going to be a place to check. And he says, my last question is for Scotty Cash, who of course is not here because he's barbecuing like a DH. But he says, where do you think I can get replacement stickers of my Power Rangers Thunder Megazord? Actually, I've got the answer to this. You want to go to a place called reprolabels.com. R-E-P-R-O labels.com. And basically, for anyone out there who you know, collects the Power Rangers, you collect Transformers, anything like that that's figures with those stickers on them, they sell sheets of replacement stickers for individual figures. They have symbols for, you know, if you just want to, like ones that came packaged in sometimes as bonus stuff. But they do have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They've got Morpher stickers. They've got them for the different Zords.
click on one. How expensive are they?
Anywhere from 14, 22, 18, 22, 17, 18.
Jesus.
Titanus, for whatever reason, he's $48.
Probably a lot of stickers.
Yeah, might have. Oh, it looks like he's got them all up and down his neck. Yeah.
Wow. So, man, what a good idea to buy a bunch of original sticker sheets and then reproduce them and sell them for crazy high money. I should have gotten into that business.
So yeah, I mean, anything that you've got that's got stickers, that's a Transformer or a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or, you know, whatever, you can go to reprolabels.com and pick up. And like for your regular Transformers, Blaster, Blue Streak, Bumblebee, those are all $250 for the stickers on those because there weren't very many. Fortress Maximus, $850 for the stickers. Grimlock, $4. Hot Rod, $250. Jazz, $250.
Those are good prices.
Megatron, $4. Optimus Prime, $250. You know, so I mean they've got them, and these are, you know, made to look like the ones that came off. You know, these are not like...
And they're stickers, you're not going to tell.
Right. These are not like Korean knockoff ones, you know, that instead of having like the Decepticon symbol, they have like circuitry in them in the right shape or something. Like these actually look like...
They're completely illegal bootlegs.
But they look great. So, so yeah, there you go. It's reprolabels.com. It's going to be the place you're going to go.
I like it. Bookmark it.
Done! Next issue! Alright. And there were no phone calls this week. Oh, yeah, I know.
We can call Antonio's Pizza and order some pizza.
Well, maybe I'll do that later. Alright, well that's going to do it for the show this week. Don't forget, if you would like to leave your own voicemail message, you can call area code 217-953-4025. You can also leave us emails, killing@popculturenetwork.com, dirt@popculturenetwork.com. You can also come to popculturenetwork.com. Look at all the other great content we have, other video shows, podcasts, and whatnots. And you can join the forums, see all the great stuff going on there, talk about toys and pro wrestling and comic books and video games. And you have some news about shoppcn.com, don't you?
Yeah, so, of course, like I said last week, that I was fixing the store. A lot of people were having issues with new product not showing up. Well, now it is. So if you go to shoppcn.com, it is completely redone. All the inventory is correct now and is flowing like it should. A lot of people had checkout issues. Those are all now resolved. So if you could, please go to ShopPCN, and there you can place your orders now. And also, if you would like, go to ShopPCN, and if you use the checkout code, this is a code you enter when you're checking out. It'll ask you if you have any coupon codes. Use ITFIGS, ITFIGS, and I think you'll get, if I remember correctly, it's either 10 or 11% off the entire order. Just for using that coupon code, and you can use that. Keep in mind that...
Why would it be 11%?
I just made it slightly different so I can
track
separate it. Yeah, separate it from the other coupon codes we have out there. If that doesn't, if you can't get that work, I know the one that does work is eBay 10, EBA10, eBay 10. That would also get you 10% off. But yeah, go there and check it out. If you're ordering off our eBay store, thank you for that. But please try to use the ShopPCN store. And I love all you guys to go out there and actually place an order if you can, and maybe tell me your experience about it. Make sure there's no more issues out there. I haven't really heard too much feedback in the store for a while. So if you could, if you want to go place some orders or tell me some of the problems you're experiencing, so I can make sure everything's completely corrected, I would appreciate it. Now, as you know, we've been doing this show for a long time now, and we are, you know, this is probably, what, 152 maybe?
Yeah.
So I think we would like to maybe start looking at doing some changes to the show and maybe improving some parts of it, and including maybe new scenery or change the way this show is done. And we would love to hear your ideas and comments on that as well. So please go into the forums and under the Ask the Question section, just go ahead and put some your thoughts and opinions and whatnot, or just simply email it to us at killing@popculturenetwork.com. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Maybe we'll do bath time next time.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. You got a pool, right?
No.
Oh.
Bathtub.
Mm.
It's a poor man's pool. Oh, rich man's aquarium.